You're getting better sleep. You're getting more value. People don't buy a mattress. People want to buy value. What you sell is you'll have more energy. You'll be more clear-minded while you do your work, while you go on dates. You're selling people what they'll get, what this produces for them, not actually the product. Welcome to the Dangerous Man Podcast, where we talk about how to become a better man, take responsibility for our mission, create value for others, and the many failures and lessons we've learned along the way. Stay dangerous. Welcome back to the Dangerous Man Podcast, guys. This is your host, John Kostohris, and your co-host,
Adam Thooft. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Today, Adam, I was reading a book today. Do you want to know what book I was reading?
As one does, right?
As one does, guys.
What book were you reading?
I was reading this book right now. I'm holding in my hands, and I'm holding it up to Adam right now. It's called $100 Million Offers. This is a wonderful book, guys. It's by an awesome dude named Alex Hormozi. He's an entrepreneur that literally gives away free content. He does free online courses. He has this amazing podcast called The Game with Alex Hormozi. Definitely check it out. Love that podcast. He talks about business, how to acquire customers, how to multiply customers and make more money per customer, and ultimately how to just help people. He's basically giving enough information that people sell tons of money for. He does it all for free so they can get people to basically build their own $3 to $10 million businesses just off the free content he gives. He's basically like, if you do that, hit me up and I'll help you get to 100 million. I'll literally invest my money into your company and my knowledge and help you scale. It's crazy. He just loves helping people.
His whole model is, let me give you a bunch of free content to get your business to worth $3 to $10 million.
Right.
Which is a pretty decent sized business.
It's a great start.
And then if you do that off of what he sells you, then he'll actually have a program for you that you'll pay money to him that he'll get you to 100 million.
Right. And not even what he sells you, he just gives it for free. He's like, I want to provide more value than anybody does in the marketplace. I want to give more value than anyone does in the marketplace. And I want to do it for free. Mm-hmm. Because I want more people to get rich. It's awesome. He's a great guy. Check it out. $100 Million Offers, 99-cent book. You could also, it's the electronic ebook. You could also pay $20 and get the paper copy like I did in the audiobook. Amazing. But yeah, there's this concept he talks about, and it fits into a bigger category that I'm going to introduce in a second. And that is basically this book is about how do I create offers, which is essentially if I'm going to sell you something, Adam, or sell something to some kind of prospect in my business. Say I'm selling a weight loss program to people that want to lose weight. My offer would be, hey, we'll help you lose 100 pounds in 90 days. And we'll have coaching for you. We'll have a diet plan for you. We'll provide the food. You subscribe to us, and we guarantee within 1 week, you'll see 15 pounds gone. Something like that.
Yeah.
You basically give them an offer, and literally the subtitle of the book is how to make offers so good people feel stupid saying no. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of people just compete on price with their products because they're not giving offers that people would feel stupid saying no to. They're just not giving enough value. They
don't show people the value of their offer other than just decreasing the price.
Right. It's hey, we give you a deal. People are that's great value. It's no, it's really not. You know what's great value? Solving people's problems.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, I would pay more money for a better product if I knew that better product was worth it.
And what do you mean by worth it?
As in, say you have, I guess two mattresses, for instance, just because me and Jen were talking about mattresses recently. If you have one mattress versus another one, but say mattress 2 is $500 more expensive than mattress 1.
Yeah.
Well, really the question that I want to know is, hey, I'll pay the extra $500 for that mattress if I know it will give me better sleep than mattress one. Mattress, the more expensive one over the cheaper one. If the more expensive one gives me more sleep, and that extra sleep allows me to do more, like say it gives me more time to deep work. I get more, like if I'm more productive in a day because I sleep better on this mattress for $500 more, then I can do like the math and be like, well, this mattress will probably end up help me make more money because I'll be more rested and be able to function better and be able to run stuff in my life better and be more organized and have less anxiety and that kind of thing. Then yes, I'd definitely pay the extra money for that mattress, even though it's more expensive, but because it's better and it's more worth it to me to have better sleep.
Right. Like if you're getting better sleep, you're getting more value, and people want to buy value. They don't want to see, people don't buy a mattress. You don't sell a mattress, and people don't buy a mattress. You might be thinking, of course they do, John. That's why you're a mattress company. But no. If you sell a mattress, people are like, great, what's a mattress? I don't care. I sleep on a mattress. What you sell is, I don't sell a mattress. I sell, you'll have more energy.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be more confident and more clear-minded while you do your work.
Yeah.
While you go on dates, while you, get to know in your dating life. You'll have more energy at the bar. You'll be more clear-minded at your work, hustling. So you're selling people what they'll get, what this produces for them, not actually the product.
Yeah.
The result, not the product.
Yeah. When you're selling mattresses, you're really selling more energy because they get a better sleep.
Correct. Exactly. But you could say we're selling better sleep, and people might be like, okay, I want better sleep. But if you really want to take it to the next level in your offer, you're going to help them take them through the idea that what is the result of better sleep? And that's the ultimate end goal.
Yeah, because honestly, if a lot of people could, they would actually like to sleep less.
Oh, yeah.
But they want to make sure their sleep is good.
Correct.
And they will sleep extra hours and put extra money into mattresses and pillows or whatnot to sleep better. So then their time that they are spent sleeping is more valuable.
It's like if you could basically say you'll get the same sleep as some other mattress, but you'll need to sleep 4 hours.
Yeah.
Dude, people be buying that shit up.
Oh, yeah. No. Like if someone came to me and was like, yeah, so this mattress, you'll sleep 4 hours a night and have as good a sleep as if you slept 10. I'd be like, well, first off, show me like evidence of that, so I believe you.
Right.
But if they actually showed me enough evidence and where I like actually believe the offer, then I'd be like, oh, where do I sign? You know?
Yeah. Where's the dotted line for my signature?
I have my pen out. I want to sign.
Give me that mattress. We're not really talking about mattresses today, but we talk about it because I literally just bought a mattress because I want to basically have these benefits in my life over the cheap $300 memory foam thing that I sleep on. Yeah, it's not getting me there. But we want to talk about this concept in this book, $100 Million Offers. And it connects to this idea of Alex's whole philosophy. Really, I guess I could boil it down to, we want to offer way more value than what we're charging. But literally, sky is the limit on what I could offer. Like, okay, I could offer you a mattress, but I could also offer you like, some different education on how to sleep better. I could offer you these free books and courses. I could offer you like coaches that like help you dial in a better routine. I could also offer you like blackout curtains with that. I could also package in like, this would be like things you can package into an offer. I could also package in, earplugs or like a mask to, make it more dark, whatever. The idea is, you could just make this bigger and I could also melatonin supplements or whatever. And an app that helps you track your sleep better. All of a sudden, like that's worth way more than just simply like a mattress. And you'd pay way more for that. But could you really quantify if that actually solved your problems of having headaches, if that really solved your problems of being tired, having less energy, less focus, would you, all of a sudden you create your own category of business and you're not going to shop prices of mattresses. All of a sudden you're like, well, they're not selling mattresses. They're selling the solution to my problem. And that's powerful. And you can make way more money doing that. But more importantly, you can help people because you're not just trying to sell a product, you're trying to solve a problem. And so this gets into this book where I'm reading this part of the book. He talks about convergent and divergent thinking. And those are kind of big words, but I'm going to literally explain each of those frameworks here. He basically gives the example of convergent thinking as basically you're taught this in school. And Adam, you probably know this, but like he gives the example of you have one salesperson that makes 100 calls. And for each of those four, or it takes 4 phone calls to close one sales deal. Out of those 100 calls, 4 calls will close one deal. That's the ratio. So, okay, we have 100 calls. We divide that by 4 calls for the close rate per close, and that gives us 25 closes per 100 calls. We can close 25 deals if we make 100 calls. That's our rate. And so he says, this is the example of like how many people do I need to hire for my sales team to make a certain amount, to make 110 sales. And so if it's 25 closes per rep and he wants to make 110 sales, the math is, 110 divided by those 25 sales close rate gives you 4.4. That's the amount of sales reps you need to do the 110 sales. And so it says, since you can't hire 4.4 reps, you probably decide to have 5. And so since you already have 3 people, you'd hire 2 more. That kind of process of deduction and math and thinking, like coming up with a solution to a problem, he calls convergent thinking. But he says a lot of times in business and in life, it's not just convergent thinking. You're not necessarily saying A plus B equals C, and the only answer is C. And so the example he gives is divergent thinking. And his example is a very simple exercise, which I did this morning, by the way. It was really great. He walks you through it. I love how he walks you through it. He basically says math problems are convergent. Lots of variables in a single answer. And it's easy to grade. I think that's why people love it in school. It's like, it's easy to be like, you got the right answer. I could see the work you showed. Okay, you did that right. An example he gives is like bricks, the brick exercise. This is what I was saying. He says, okay, for 120 seconds, basically like, what are all the things that a brick could do? What are all the things it could provide? What are all the uses of a brick? Spend 120 seconds and write that all down. And so my list was like, I started writing and I said, okay, building a foundation to a house. You could building a house out of bricks. I built a fireplace out of bricks. You could use bricks to make like a vibey interior decoration on your walls, or like a patio, outdoor fire ring, building streets or walking paths or sidewalks, chimneys. And all of a sudden you could list out all these things you could use a brick for. And that's kind of the convergent model of, hey, let's take a problem that in real life you'd say, let's take a problem that a customer has. Say it's the sleeping example. And if I'm not sleeping well, what are all the possible solutions we could list out that could help you sleep better?
Oh, there's a ton.
Right. One of them might be like buy a better mattress. Like what I said, maybe one of them would be those blackout curtains or earplugs to
having a better pillow, not drinking caffeine before bed.
Yeah.
Not looking at a screen for 2 hours right before bed.
Let's go.
Like
the blue light, keeping your mind awake.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are obviously all solutions, but what are the problems? And all of a sudden you get in the mind of somebody. It's like, hey, just ask somebody like, hey, how's your sleep? And let them open up to you and be like, well, I just find that I stay awake for an hour. Well, it takes me an hour to fall asleep. And you talk to someone else and they're like, oh, it takes me, I'm less than 5 minutes and I'm asleep. And you could listen to like, what do you do differently? And all of a sudden you hear one guy drinks some, a beer before bed. Maybe he's watching TV. Literally the minute he goes to bed, he's on his phone. All these things we listed, and we could basically one by one identify all these problems that we could help eliminate. And every single solution, multiple solutions for each problem, mind you. Like there's probably more than one solution for him sleeping poorly. There's probably more than one solution for how he could not drink alcohol. It's like, okay, we could substitute that with so many different things, or caffeine. What are other drinks we could have you could do instead? And all of a sudden you're doing this, was it convergent thinking? Let me flip the page and see. this divergent thinking where you're coming up with all of these solutions and you're able to offer so much more value. And that's where you can build an offer to somebody that you sell in a business where it's like, hey, like I've actually thought about every possible thing that could go wrong. Like if you want to lose weight, we're coming back to that example. If you want to lose weight, it's like, oh, well, I probably have to like go shopping. Okay, what would I buy? What is my grocery list? Okay, what if they're out of certain items that I would normally get?
What if the certain items that like I would get to lose weight, I don't like to eat?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's another problem. Will I like what I'm eating?
Yeah. Will it be like sustainable, or am I going to like switch onto it and kind of hate what I eat?
Another one would be, great, I might eat this way, but then what if I need to cook for my family? Or what if I travel?
Mm-hmm.
If I travel, like, how would I make sure I could keep that diet going? And these are all problems people have. These are problems our prospects have. Just, you could even widen it. Problems that people experience in the human condition, in the human world, in your life. And you could basically say, hey, let me list, and this is what Alex says, list out all of these problems that you could run into with this, say this weight loss example where they have to get this gym membership, they have to go to the gym. Other people might look at them and they might be judged while they're in there because they don't know how to do the proper like lifts or techniques. So they're afraid of looking like a kind of fool. We gave all the examples of shopping and diet, right? We can list and predict all of these different problems just by, I came up with these on the spot. Adam came up with some on the spot. And now we could say, hey, let's do some divergent thinking where we list out multiple solutions to each problem. And now we say, hey, can we offer not one of these things, but basically like, multiple solutions to multiple problems all in one offer. And all of a sudden the amount of value that we can give somebody and say, hey, we're not selling you a mattress, but we're selling you the answer to your problem. Mm-hmm. And we'll literally paint the picture for you and tell you about all the problems these other people have had and what we did to solve that. And all of a sudden people are like, going to love that. Mm-hmm. That's like really what makes people buy. Is like they want to know that if they buy, that this will help them. And as actual business owner, it's like, I actually want to go out into the world and provide value to people. And I want to actually really help solve people's problems.
Yeah, right. Because if you're being a business owner and you're just kind of screwing people over, that's, kind of unethical. And it's like, okay, well, I don't feel good about myself. But the thing is, if you actually are making a good offer and it's actually helping improve their life.
Yeah.
And they're willing to pay for that, like you're going to be providing value for them.
Right.
It comes like screwing people over is more about being deceitful or like being like, yeah, so it's going to do all this, that, and the other thing. And then doesn't actually do that. And
that's where you get those people that are just like, oh, it's only about marketing. So just make these big claims of all these things we'll do for you. But then it's like, well, is your product good?
Yeah. Like this sandwich is the best sandwich you've ever tasted. It's the greatest thing. The atmosphere environment is like the bougiest thing, and it's not even that expensive. But the sandwich is literally just bread with bologna in between it.
It's just clickbait, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's where it's like, are you really solving someone's problem? And so that's an interesting dynamic of, as a dangerous man. I was thinking about this today. I was like, what is the dangerous man? I think the dangerous man is an ideal of the kind of person that we want to become. And what I have a few different friends that we're going to bring on the podcast soon that they talk about, they'll be going places and talking to people and these people are like, wow, like I'm edified by the kind of person you are, or like the way you treat others, or the way you want to help others and serve them. Or, maybe it's the routine you have at the gym and the commitment you have and the discipline you have and just how alert and attentive you are to other people, how kind you are. It's like, I want to become that. And some of these people, some of my friends I talk to, like, I literally just want to go and help as many people as I can. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where it's like, I think a lot of middle-class people, they just think of business owners, you get the Elon Musks and you get the Jeff Bezos and, those are just a few, but like any,
the big guys. But.
Right. And any other business owner, maybe they had a bad experience with the business owner, maybe they heard rumors about these guys, whether they're true or not. That's not really the point. The point is more, there's this conception people have of like all of these guys that have businesses literally just like, oh, I'm going to find a way to fuck people over and make money on them. And the more you dig into, maybe some of these guys are, and they give a bad name to it. But there's a lot of great business owners that are literally like, hey, how can I solve people's problems and help people and provide so much value that this is actually going to make a difference? And they're literally going to rave about it to everybody because they're like, this actually helps. This helps me in my life.
Yeah. And I don't think like those people would get as big as they are unless they were solving problems for people.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, if you don't have integrity in business, it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah. Like, yeah, what do you think about that? Like, I don't know if you have any examples or thoughts on that.
I mean, I don't have any like specific examples, but if you take like people who like are committing fraud somehow, like they're, fixing their books so they're actually making a lot more money than they should be, and somehow like avoiding taxes or something. I don't really know how all those schemes work because I haven't done any of them, but there's different ways where you can like commit fraud and make yourself more money, and eventually it'll catch up with you, because any lie that you have to sustain, and if you're doing a bunch of lies, and those lies will eventually compound, like someone will probably ask you about said thing, and you have to lie in order to keep the first lie going. And so eventually you get a stack of lies, but there's all different tiny aspects that you gotta remember. And lies are harder to remember than truths. So at a certain point, you're gonna forget one of the lies that you made, and someone's gonna figure that out, and then the whole thing is gonna come crashing down.
Right, because this lie is not a part of who you are. You're like whipping it up on the spot, coming up with something.
Yeah. So like
trying to remember what that was and continue with that.
So it's almost like being a fraud or not having integrity in business is almost more work for like less money and potential jail time.
Yeah. Right.
Like there's really no good way to do it. And I think the only reason why people will like commit fraud is because they have like some kind of addiction to how much money they're making. Like, oh, like and usually it's because the money that they're making, they've used to increase their lifestyle. So they really like the lifestyle that the money is like providing for them. So then they don't want to change because they would have to go backwards in lifestyle. I think that's why it's important that like when you first start making a lot more money, to keep your lifestyle the same. So then like if anything happens to like the way that you're making more money, you're not like already set in that lifestyle that's higher. We're stuck in that. So then that extra money that you have, because you're not reliant on it for your lifestyle, you're more willing to risk that to grow it more or to help add value to other people.
Right. It's kind of the idea of like, this is the basic principle from like Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And I won't break it down too much, but the idea basically is that poor people, when they get money, like poor and rich, it's like a mindset ultimately. And the poor people, when they get money, they're just going to buy like shoes. They're going to buy like a nice car. They're going to buy TVs. They're going to buy every kind of comfort or pleasure or thing that they could get. And if they were to make $1 million, if they were to win the lottery, it would be gone within a few months because they just live up to that means. Like I have $1 million, so now I can afford a better house.
They buy a nice house, a couple of nice cars. They would,
Gucci clothing.
Yeah, have really nice clothes. If they had like student loans, they'd pay those off. They'd probably pay off some of their friends' student loans, maybe buy somebody a car, that kind of thing. Probably spend it on a lot of partying because they want to they've just been chasing pleasure their whole life.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people that win the lottery end up being broke like 3 years later.
It's a repeating pattern
Yep.
we see over and over again. Whereas the rich person, their mentality is, if I make money, how can I take that money and use it to make myself more money? And the idea is basically that they'll invest that money either into a business or into some kind of vehicle. For a lot of the most wealthy people in the world, for many generations, has been to buy buildings, to buy real estate, and to allow that to be a vehicle of their money compounding and investing, and to store it into something that's not going to like disappear. That's obviously a longer conversation, but the idea is that the rich person will buy an asset, which is something that puts money in their pocket. Maybe an example would have been like, this is kind of phasing out in some degrees, but it was like, I buy, actually, we'll just use a real estate example. That's much better. I buy a apartment complex with my money that I make. And then all those people living there, say it's 100 units. You have 100 people living in that apartment, and every single month they pay rent. Ultimately, like a lot of that money of rent is going towards like paying for the loan of the property, paying the property manager, paying like the people that take out the trash and keep the place nice, right?
Paying like the
expenses.
Upkeep on the, like, hey, you need to replace like AC units, like make sure you have a budget for that. You got to, fix, repaint stuff every now and then.
Yeah, essentially the upkeep and the running of your business, which is like this apartment complex is now a business. But there's going to be a good chunk of that that's profit. And what's interesting about that is every single month you're going to get that check, and literally like you have people that run the place for you. You just like found a good deal and bought it and made sure that you set up the business to run well. And then you basically are getting this passive income. It's not active. I don't go out, trade my time for a paycheck like you would at working at like Menards or McDonald's or whatever insert company. Instead, over time, you're just going to be getting money into your pocket, this monthly cash flow. And rich people take that money and they'll basically let that afford their lifestyle. So not the money they're actively making, but the money that comes back from their money. These, it could be like a stock, the money you get from a dividend, or real estate, I think is just a more lucrative, tangible, safer concept. But
because everyone needs a place to live.
Yeah. And so you'll have these people, rich people that afford these nice things, and they actually didn't buy it because they make $1 million in profits from their companies a week or whatever. They actually just bought it because the investments they have, their real estate, gives them those checks. And once that's compounded enough that they can afford to buy a car with that, they do it.
Yeah, like Elon Musk.
It's sustainable.
Like Elon Musk bought Twitter recently, but it's not like he had like $44 billion of liquid cash lying around just to throw at him. Like that was definitely financed in a way where he could pay it off over time from the money that he's making from Tesla, from SpaceX, from any of his other ways of cash flow, which I'm sure he has other ones as well.
Probably got lots of avenues. That's the other thing is rich people have more than just one avenue of making this passive income or this business. So, we'll talk more about that kind of stuff, but I more just want to kind of put that out there to get people to think and realize like, wow, there's more to this. And there's all this mindset stuff we're hinting at below the surface. Thanks for listening, guys. This is part 1 of 2. So chime in a couple of days when we release episode 6 to hear the rest. Until then, stay dangerous.